Good morning, and thank you for joining us. My name is Kim Armstead, Public Information Officer with the Oakland Police Department. Today, Oakland Police Chief Leronne Armstrong will be providing an update regarding his 30-day crime plan. And then the chief will actually also speak to a grant that the department was recently awarded. So without further ado, I'll turn it over to Chief Armstrong. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here. About 4 weeks ago, I laid out a plan to combat gun violence in the city of Oakland. This came on the heels of the deadliest week of the year in the city of Oakland, with the loss of 8 lives in a 7-day period. Because of the violence we were experiencing, I challenged my command staff to bring a different approach to addressing gun violence, with the goal of making an impact on public safety immediately, making it safer for our residents, for our visitors, and the businesses of Oakland. We implemented an all-hands-on-deck strategy where we used every available resource within the department to leverage our partnerships with our local, federal, and state partners to begin focusing in on violent crime and the recovery of firearms. Over that 4-week period, we've reduced the number of shootings and homicides in the city of Oakland. Prior to the 30-day operation starting, we had 17 people lose their lives during the period of August 26th through September 25th. We started our plan on September 26th. September 26th through today, we've had 9 lives lost in the city of Oakland. 9 lives are still far too many people who have lost their lives in the city of Oakland to gun violence, but we are really working towards making Oakland safer for everybody. This is also down from this same time period last year, where we've seen 14 people unfortunately lose their lives in the city of Oakland. We took a similar approach when it came to shootings in Oakland, looking at our shootings begin to decrease pretty significantly. Our shootings are down 25% compared to last year at this same time. We also have seen a 10% decline in overall homicides. When combined, shootings and homicides related to group and gang violence represent 30% of our overall shootings and homicides in the city of Oakland. Again, over the last 4 weeks, our officers from our ceasefire division, from our violent crimes operations division, and from our patrol operations division have recovered 82 firearms in a month. We've also arrested 120 people for shootings and violent crimes across our city. Although we've recovered 82 firearms over the last 30 days, this year total we've recovered 1,235 firearms. That exceeds the number of firearms we recovered in the entire year of 2021. It really does show that we have a high level of focus on recovering guns from our community. That is a recovery of 1,235 guns, and we're only in month 10. There's still 2 more months in the year where we continue to be focused. Needless to say, as a result of this last month's operation, I will be extending this operation for another 30 days. All of our resources will continue to be focused on group and gang violence, on addressing shootings and homicides in the city of Oakland, and we will continue our all-hands-on-deck approach. Also, I added 8 additional officers to our criminal investigations division. The increase in staffing will lead to more criminal investigations and a higher number of solved cases. In terms of keeping individuals who have committed violent crimes in custody when they're arrested. I've also added an additional traffic enforcement team. These traffic enforcement officers will be on our roadways. They're already out there so far. They've been focused on our high injury network locations throughout the city, where the Department of Transportation has identified the top locations in our city where vehicle collisions have occurred. In the first few days, These officers have wrote over 40 citations so far. They've also written 10 vehicle seizure warrants for vehicles that have fled from them during stops. We will be coming for those vehicles, and we will be towing those vehicles. These officers have been met with applause in our community. Obviously, so many in our community have been expressing their concern about the traffic safety issues across our city. I'm telling the Oakland residents that our traffic enforcement officers are out. They are going to be addressing traffic-related crime in our city, hopefully to make our thoroughfares a lot safer than they were. Lastly, our department will also be a current recipient of a Department of Justice grant. OPD was awarded $1.8 million to hire 15 additional officers by the Department of Justice Community-Oriented Policing. So the COPS office has provided the department resources to hire an additional 15 officers. We are really appreciative of the Department of Justice's award. We look forward to adding these additional staffs to our department. And then I'll say, lastly, we look forward to this Friday, where the department will graduate nearly 24 new Oakland police officers out of our 189th Basic Academy School. So not only will we be getting additional funding for officers, but this Friday we will welcome 24 new police officers to the Oakland Police Department's family. That will take us for the first time in 2022 back over the 700 officer mark. So this department is growing. We look forward to being able to redeploy more officers into the field. This will be the 4th academy that we've graduated in the last 12 months. And so we have been aggressive in hiring. We've been aggressive in our recruiting efforts, and I'm doing everything within my power to get this department back to full staffing so that we can provide the level of service that's needed to address the violence in the city of Oakland. And with that, I'll take any questions. Paul, Kim or Paul?
Can you elaborate on what those local, state, and federal partnerships were as part of the 30 days?
Yeah, so we have a partnership with ATF to continue to focus on firearm recoveries, particularly privately manufactured firearms, where we have seen nearly a 30% recovery of those type of firearms in our community. So the ATF is a tremendous partner in that, and the analyzing of ballistic evidence as well. We continue to strengthen our partnership with the FBI as they have provided investigative resources to support our homicide and shooting investigations across our city. So FBI is on the ground and supporting the department as well. We also have continued to work closely with the Alameda County Auto Theft Task Force to address some of the stolen vehicles out of our city, some of the carjacking videos. We've deployed an officer to that team as well to strengthen that partnership. So we just continue to leverage every partnership that we can in order to address crime across our city.
Of the 1,235 seized guns, how many are ghost guns?
We estimate about 30% of those recoveries are ghost guns, which are privately manufactured firearms, is what they're called, but 30% is what we estimate. I think about 2 weeks ago we actually brought forth an interview where we talked specifically about those ghost guns, and I'll have Paul and them share that with you if you need, but we did a specific focus around ghost guns about 2 weeks ago.
How do you weigh the effectiveness of this 30-day initiative against 30-day periods of the previous years and pre-pandemic years? How do you know if it's not just kind of natural cooling off versus the problems?
Well, I think the recovery, the level of firearms recovery is really showing that after the pandemic, we have seen more people with firearms than we've seen in previous years. I mean, really for us, that has been the focus, is that so many people in our community are driving with guns that are committing these crimes. We have seen firearms used in low-level crimes like burglaries. Those are things that we didn't traditionally see. So we know that there's a proliferation of firearms in our community. Even within our own criminal investigations, individuals are telling us that people are armed, and that's why they need to carry firearms. And so we just have to do more to get firearms off our streets, to remove them from our community, so others don't believe that they need to carry a gun in order to be safe. We have to send a message of safety. We can't let people take things into their own hands. We got to do better, and that's what our focus has been.
Chief, is there a particular initiative over the last 30 days that you have seen work more than one of the other initiatives that you have been doing?
Yeah, I think just accepting the fact that we're going to have to arrest people. That when people commit violent crime in our city, we're going to have to focus on apprehending them. When people use firearms in our community, we have to be relentless in our follow-up in order to apprehend them. And that's really what we've been doing, leveraging our partnerships with the U.S. Marshal as well, who will be here next week to meet with us and discuss how they can support us even more. We're going to hone in on those individuals that continue to drive violence, but particularly those that sell ghost guns in our community, those that are carrying these weapons. We got to get them off our streets. We've seen them used in some what we believe are really low-level crimes, like the burglary of cars or the stealing of catalytic converters. All of them are producing gun violence. That makes no sense, but we have to do better, and that's what our focus has been. And I think the numbers sort of breed out that's been successful for us, and we're going to keep focusing in that way.
And you said you're going to extend this for the next 30 days. Is there a way that this can be implemented permanently?
Well, I think it really is a staffing issue. I think as we grow the department, we'll be less reliant on going sort of all hands and moving officers out of sort of specialized units and putting them on the streets. As we grow the department, we'll be able to grow units. And when we grow units like the traffic unit, there'll be an additional traffic squad coming at some point. There'll be an additional team brought to the Violent Crime Operations Center. And we're going to put additional investigators in our Criminal Investigations Division. So as the department grows, we'll continue to grow these units. And I think you'll see a stronger enforcement effort. I will applaud the work of the District Attorney's Office, because they are an essential partner in this, that when we arrest people, it's important that they get charged, and they've been right at the table with us, helping us out with that. So that really is an important component as well, is that when we do make these arrests, that individuals stay in custody.
Chief, what is the threshold for you're trying to meet as you go through these next 2 years?
The threshold really is Oaklanders need to feel like we're doing something about the level of violence that they're experiencing every day. That they know that this department is going out there trying to make this community safer. And I hope they feel that. I hope it feels a little bit better. It may not feel that way today, but we're going to keep doing our best to get people off the streets who are driving violent crime so that people can feel safe in our city. We believe that with the number of guns that we've recovered during this operation, definitely it's made an impact. We see the numbers. We see that the homicides are down. We see shootings are down. So we know less people have lost their lives as a result of this. And so now it's just about us dealing with people's fear, the perception of fear. We have to deal with that so that people, when they come into areas that traditionally they consider to be safe, that they feel safe again. That's going to be our focus. This grant that will be bringing forward 15 officers will be a grant used to deploy some walking officers into some of our areas that we know need more presence, whether we're talking downtown, Chinatown, Jack London, Lakeshore. These are areas where we can refocus a walking effort to get a greater presence in those areas. We have to bring forth a sense of safety in this city. That's what my effort is now.
Can you kind of go over again what are some of the things you do in this 30-day window specifically to address these things?
Yeah, what we do is use intelligence to really focus on these individuals that are driving gun violence. We know that gun violence is truly committed by a small group of people in our city. But we have to know who they are, we have to know who they're in conflict with, and we have to try to get in front of these shootings to reduce retaliation, what tends to be the driver of this violence. And that's what we've been doing. Our ceasefire team has come from what we would call undercover capacity and being more in uniform out on the streets making stops of individuals that we know are likely to be in possession of firearms or involved in groups and gangs that might be potentially ready to commit a violent act. So it's really intelligence-led, it's focused, it's a focused effort. It is not about stopping everybody. Our presence in communities continue to be the same. I think we've had so much success with reducing the number of stops. I think our numbers really show that we've reduced our stops over 70% in the last 4 years. We want to continue that trend, but it also is a level of engagement that we need to have, that we need to make sure that we're stopping the right people, because clearly with these numbers, somebody is out there driving gun violence in our city. We need to identify who they are, and we need to arrest them.
We have time for 2 last questions.
Just on the NSA and settlement.
Yep.
First, like over the summer, we heard that the end was in sight.
Yep.
Then a couple of weeks ago, there were reports that Judge Orrick was wobbling. Can you tell us what the status is?
No, I mean, I think I was encouraged by last week's hearing at our hearing with the judge. I thought the judge again echoed that the department needs to continue to be focused. The judge asked that we work closely to make sure that an outside investigator gets the information that they need. We've been doing that. And so I think it was clear to me that the judge is looking for us to continue to move this organization forward. There was no indication that the department was going to be paused or delayed in any way. We anticipate that we'll continue to focus on hopefully bringing our negotiated settlement agreement to an end.
Chief, is there any update on the daughter issues case? She was carried to our
Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't have an update at this time. We are following up on every lead that we have. We appreciate the community continuously bringing forth information. We ask that if anybody has any information regarding the Jew shooting, that they bring that forward to us. But it is an investigation that is ongoing. All right. All right. Thank you.